today we're at downtown Yangon City. We're going to take you to see the 5 top best vegan street foods in Yangon City. There's so many great street foods and so cheap here. The first thing you've got to learn is how to say vegetarian in Burmese, which is tat tat look. Tat tat look. Practice that a few times, because when you're walking around and trying different foods, you want to make sure you say tat tat look, so they know that you're a vegetarian. Now, most foods here have the vegetarian version and a regular version. So as long as you say tat tat look, they'll give you the vegetarian version. But there's so many good foods and so cheap. So we're probably going to have to make a part 2. So make sure you subscribe, because you're only going to find this kind of content on Asian Vegan Love. Hello, Bangde. 真的超好吃。I know a girl named Susan. Susan is my friend. Masarap talaga, diba? And she knows I love her. I'll love her till the end. Something interesting, while we were filming, we accidentally captured a ghost on camera. So stick around and see if you can spot the ghost.
Myanmar definitely has some great street food culture, especially downtown Yangon City. Pretty much every street, alleyway, and intersection is filled with different kinds of food carts, selling all sorts of noodle dishes, rice dishes, seafood, and fresh fruit. Pretty much everywhere you look, you'll see people outside eating all sorts of different meals. Now, one of the main reasons people eat outside is because it's cheap, but also because Yangon City is kind of known for having occasional power outages. So you'd much rather be outside in the cool breeze eating than inside when the power suddenly goes out. But let's start taking a look at the top 5 best vegan street foods in Yangon City. Here's number 5. Now, number 5 is a delicious dish called Tofu No, or sometimes I hear the locals pronounce it as Tofu No, which is rice noodles with warm tofu on top. But it's Burmese tofu, so it's not made of soybeans, it's made of chickpeas, and it's got like a pudding texture on top of the noodles. So delicious. Now, you can find Tofu No in pretty much any kind of street corner in downtown Yangon, but today we're going to Chinatown in downtown Yangon City. Now, the thing you need to know about Tofu No is it's normally a breakfast food. So if you want to have some, you probably want to get up in the morning or early afternoon. Otherwise, they'll stop selling or they'll just be sold out. So you can see she's cooking the rice noodles, put them in a bowl, and then she's going to put the tofu on top, right? And then cover it with some oils, some soy sauce, some peanuts, some ground peanuts. She's like an orchestra conductor, adding all sorts of little different notes to the song. There you go, look at that. And then a little cilantro and some garnishes on top, and voila. There you go. You can see the tofu is kind of a yellowish color. Again, that's because it's made from chickpeas and not soybeans. But it's served warm. Now, when you mix it all together and you stir it up, it becomes kind of like a fettuccine alfredo, really creamy texture, but it's fully vegetarian, made just from tofu and rice noodles. Just make sure you say tat tat look when you order it.
So here it is. It's served warm with tofu on top, and there's peanuts, some different oils, different garnishes, but it's served warm. This is supposed to be a breakfast food, but I like to eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's kind of like a Burmese comfort food, served warm. Look at that. Definitely Burmese comfort food. I could definitely eat this all day long.
So while I was downtown checking out some of the old colonial era buildings, a local guy told me that there was an orphanage not too far away, just a short ferry ride across to the opposite shore. Now, Yangon City, like a lot of major cities, is a port city, which means the ferry port is only about a 5-minute walk from the downtown core. So I decided to hop on the ferry, see if I could visit the orphanage, and maybe donate some rice. Because this channel is called Asian Vegan Love. So it's not just about being a vegan, it's about spreading some love at the same time. So once you get outside Yangon City, the hustle and bustle and the big buildings, you see how simple the life is. Now this is the orphanage, and this is the man running it. He's actually a Christian, but he takes in children of all faiths. So Muslim, Buddhist, and Christian, all are welcome at his orphanage. So I was happy to donate some rice and meet these cute kids. But let's get back to our top 5 list. And coming in at number 4 is Tofu Tok. Tofu Tok. Now Tok in Burmese means salad. So Tofu Tok means tofu salad. Now when you find one of these food carts along the streets, you basically hit a gold mine. Because they've got about a dozen different kinds of noodles, tofu, and vegetables. And these guys can take all these ingredients and turn them into several dozen different kinds of dishes. All of them delicious. Now this time I've ordered Tofu Tok. So he's going to mix up some shredded tofu with some oils and spices. And he's going to mix them all up right there in front of me. And there it is, done in about 30 seconds. So good and so cheap, only about 50 cents. Now the texture is kind of like a macaroni and cheese, a little bit chewy and a little bit creamy, but so good. And fully vegetarian.
Sao đồ căng đề.
And one of the good things about Southeast Asia is you can find people selling fresh coconuts pretty much on every street corner. Now fresh coconut juice is great in the hot weather. It's super healthy and super fresh. And they'll chop one up for you and put it in a little plastic bag. A full coconut for only about 50 cents. Definitely a great way to keep hydrated in the hot weather. And there you go, 50 cents for fresh goodness. Something you'd pay several dollars for in any supermarket in North America or Europe.
Hello? Hello, 1, 2, hello? Hello, hello?
Now Myanmar actually borders both India and Bangladesh. So you find a lot of great Indian food in Indian restaurants in Myanmar, which is great for vegetarians. But you also find a lot of great Indian street food on all the street corners. So for number 2, it's Lafet Tok. Lafet Tok, which is tea leaf salad. Lafet means tea leaf and tok means salad. Just like earlier, we had tofu tok, which is tofu salad. So for this one, we came back to the same guy that we bought the tofu tok from. Because like I said, this kind of food cart has about a half dozen different noodles and tofu and vegetables, and they can whip up so many different kinds of dishes just from this one small food cart. Now Lafet Tok is a very popular dish in Myanmar. Now when you find a food cart like this, you can sit down and order one and they'll whip it up right in front of you. So this is going to have some cabbage, some scallions, some ginger, some garlic, a little bit of oil, a little bit of lemon juice, some peanuts. My goodness, so many good things going into this. See, now he's adding some nuts. You can see why this is a very popular dish in Myanmar. And now finally he's adding the fermented or pickled tea leaves. Now again, this one has a vegetarian version and a non-vegetarian version. The non-vegetarian version sometimes adds fish oil. So again, make sure when you order this, you say tat tat lok, so they know you want the vegetarian version and not the version with the fish oil. And there it is. Look at that. And voila. So if you visit Yangon City, one place you definitely have to visit is the Shwedagon Pagoda. It's really a spectacular place. It's one of the most important landmarks in all of the Buddhist religion. Apparently it's over 2,000 years old, and the peaks are gold-plated with diamonds at the top. Now, no matter what strife is going on in Yangon City or Myanmar, this place is always protected, always peaceful, always well lit, and the people are just generally super friendly. They'll walk up and they'll help you introduce the different temples, the different gods, and generally just be friendly. But overall, it's a peaceful place to come and look around, walk around, and just enjoy the culture. But now it's time to head back downtown and reveal the #1 top vegan street food in Yangon City. And here it is, #1. It's Shan Noodles. Shan Noodles, or in Burmese they say San Khao Shui. San Khao Shui. Now, Shan Noodles are a very simple dish. Basically rice noodles with some garlic, onions, some crushed peanuts, a little bit of oil on top. Now sometimes it's served with broth or without. I generally like it without. I think it's more simple and better flavor. But Shan Noodles is very popular. You can find it pretty much any street corner, especially in downtown Chinatown. And again, there's a vegetarian version and a non-vegetarian version. So when you order, make sure you order the vegetarian version by saying tat tat lok. And here it comes. And there it is. Heaven on earth for vegetarians. Just a simple dish, but so full of flavor. The way it mixes the peanuts and the oils and the ginger and the garlic. Again, such simple ingredients, but such amazing flavor.
So this is the #1. This is Shan Noodles. It's definitely a go-to must-have if you come to Yangon. This is probably the best noodles you're going to find. The Shan is a province of Myanmar, and the noodles are super famous. You can find them in many street locations, street stalls. So the noodles are served warm. You got some peanuts in here. Sometimes you get it with tofu and some vegetables. And this is some good stuff. A little bit spicy. A little bit spicy, but good spicy. Good stuff.
It was so good, I decided to have a second bowl. So that's it. The #1 vegan street food in Yangon City is Shan Noodles, or San Khao Shui. So if you have the chance to visit Myanmar, you definitely have to try some. And if you can't, maybe try and find a Burmese restaurant near where you live and try it, and let us know in the comments what you think. But you definitely have to try these out once in your life.
So that's it for Yangon. Some great foods here. So make sure you subscribe. There's going to be part 2. There's so many other vegetarian foods to try here. I'm going to introduce them all to you. Just make sure you practice that phrase, tat tat lok. Tat tat lok. It's the most important phrase. Now it's nighttime here, so I'm gonna go try some street food in the night markets, and we'll see you next time. So see you next time on Asian Vegan.
So while we were filming at the pagoda, we happened to pass by an old man who was lying on the ground. He was wearing tattered clothes and really skinny, and he looked like he wasn't even breathing. I was really concerned that this old man had passed away. I thought maybe he had come to the temple for his last days or his last breaths and just wanted to pass away calmly in front of his temple. I was really concerned that this man had passed away. He was so skinny, and he looked like he wasn't breathing, sprawled out on the ground. So a few minutes later, while making a video in front of one of the temples, this old man suddenly sprung up and started walking behind me in the background of my video. It was like a miracle. I honestly thought this man had passed away, and maybe he had, but somehow he appeared in my video walking in the background. He even stopped to look into the camera and take a selfie. Now, I don't know. I personally think this man had passed away, the way he was sprawled out on the ground and not breathing, and then moments later he's suddenly walking through my video. Now, I don't know if I believe in ghosts, but I guess if there's any place that a ghost would want to appear, it would be in a 2,000-year-old temple. What do you think? So thanks a lot for watching. If you liked the video or found it useful, make sure you give it a like on your way out. And if you ever have the chance to visit Myanmar, definitely check out the top 5 vegan street foods that we recommended. You definitely won't regret it. But if you don't have the chance to make it to Myanmar or Yangon City, you can try to find a Burmese restaurant nearby where you live and try the foods that way. And let us know what you think in the comments. But until next time, we'll see you next time on Asian Vegan Love.